Hey you guys, my name is Mara Sullivan and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we will be talking about all things relationships, dating, intimacy, sex, just boys or men, because we do not date boys over here, okay? um, just not losing yourself in relationships, not settling, all of the fun girly topics that the girls like to talk about when we get together. This video is one of a few videos that I'm doing in a little mini series on this channel called Galentine Wine Time. And I just wanted to do like a Galentine's Day inspired like little mini series for Valentine's Day, but for Galentine's Day. Um, just doing like topics that cover all of the fun girlhood, womanhood topics. So PMS, divine feminine, solo dates, just all of the fun girlhood topics. And that is what this series is about. If you have not seen any of the other videos in this series, go check those out after this one. But yeah, I'll be doing about, I want to say around 10 of those videos. And like I said, if you have not checked out any of those, this go do the go watch those after you watch this one. Like I said, I wanted to do something for Valentine's Day, but Valentine's Day is for your boo, it's for your bae, it's for the couples. Valentine's Day is for the girls. So I wanted to just have some fun girl chats with you guys for Valentine's Day. So cheers. I do not drink wine, which you already know if you've already seen the other videos in this series. This is cranberry juice. Today we got cranberry and a little tequila. Most of the videos has been cranberry and sparkling water, but wanted to have a little fun today for this one because who doesn't like talking about all the juicy topics, dating, intimacy, boys, men. I need to stop saying boys. Saying boys is just so much more fun. It feels like more like sleepover talk when you say boys. I don't know why. But yeah, that is today's video. We got cranberry and tequila today. Get your fun little beverage. Comment your favorite like wine or wine replacement down below. Wine gives me a headache, gives me headaches, makes me feel super sick. So I don't drink it. But if wine also makes you feel awful, but you have found alternatives, please leave those down below, and I will leave my favorite like relaxing alcoholic alternatives on the screen. Um, but alcohol in general, I can pretty much drink like the hard stuff, but wine itself puts me out. I cannot do it. But obviously, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into talking about sex first because that is the most um, engaging topic. Everyone is always thinking about it. Everyone always wants to know about it, always wants to talk about it, but it's still like taboo. For some people, it still has a stigma. I don't really care. Like I'm a Scorpio. We're known for being a little freaky, low key anyway. So we can talk about it over here. Um, but like in general, I don't have that much to say about it, honestly, except for it does matter who you have sex with. Like it matters who you sleep with. And, I know that hookup culture was a really big thing a few years ago. Hookup culture, one night stands, just all of those, you know, one offs, if you will, in dating or not really dating when it's a one night stand, but you guys know what I mean. Like it really does matter who you sleep with. And so if you're someone who, especially if you know that you're a very like emotional person, if you know that you're someone who wears your heart on your sleeve, if you know that it's, you really have to be honest and mature, like know where you are emotionally, know where you are, um, be honest with yourself about your emotional maturity, about your emotional stability. If you know you are someone who, you know, can't not can't handle all that comes with it, but you really need to be in a good headspace and things like that. Like I personally recommend only getting, that up close and personal with someone that you have been with for a very long time. With traditional society standards, it is something that is reserved for marriage. No judgment over here. I don't care what you do with your body as long as you are being smart, as long as you're being safe. I am just an advocate for wisdom and for discernment and for, like I said, just doing your best to do things that make sense. If you know that you're someone who just, is don't give yourself like short-term happiness, pleasure at the expense of long-term consequences. I think that about sums up my views on intimacy and, just the whole topic in general is just be smart, be wise, um, and just make sure that, you're just not putting yourself in a unnecessary position. Like, don't put yourself in position, lol, but don't put yourself in um, a situation that you could have avoided. You know what I mean? Like, when I say long-term consequences, I'm not just talking about babies. We all know how babies are made. But, long-term consequences emotionally, physically, like spiritually, because I do believe sex is a very like sacred spiritual act. Your body itself is a temple. We all know that. Um, and not just anybody should have access to your body. Like, it just, you really do have to be like mindful and just smart and wise about, that decision. It is a big deal. Even like I said, even if it's just a hookup, even if it's just a one night stand, as long as you're a consenting adult and, both of y'all are fine, um, you have the freedom to do that. But just like I said, just make sure you're being smart, make sure you're being wise, and that you're not just doing it just to do it. Like I said, you're not just getting yourself short term happiness, that one quick hit of dopamine, um, but that might come with long term consequences. So be smart, be safe, be wise. I'm not trying to kill nobody's high. Do what you want. Um, but I am just definitely um, an advocate for being self aware and knowing yourself well enough to be able to be honest with yourself. Like, this probably is not a good idea, or maybe, we should take a step back or have some more time before we, go there. You really do just need to be mature about it. It is a big deal. A lot of people think like, and yes, like I said, I'm a person, like, what you do with your body is up to you. I don't care. But it's still a big deal because of, like I said, the long-term effects that tend to come with being intimate with someone. Like, it is a big deal. Um, and so be smart, be wise, be extremely selective. And like I said, just make sure you know that person very, 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 very well, um, before you go there with them. Like, just, like I said, the main thing that sums up the topic for me is no short term happiness, pleasure that comes with long term consequences. Just make sure you're thinking. Do not, you know, go there unless you have really thought it out, because even something that you think is not a big deal in the moment can sneak up later. So make sure you are being very, 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 very wise, taking your time. Um, Never be rushed, never be pressured. We should all know by now that if someone is pressuring you, if someone is making you feel like you have to do something that you're not ready for or that you don't want to do, that's not a good person. That's just not the person for you. And never, ever feel like you have to do something with someone that you are not ready for, that you do not want to do, just to keep them. Why would you want to keep someone who's putting you in that position? Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you are in that situation right now, get out. Get out. You deserve so much more. You deserve so much better than someone who is pressuring you into, like, either you do this or I'm gone type of thing. Bye. Let them walk out the door. That is not a you problem. That is 100% a them problem. Never, and I'm not just talking about when it comes to sex, I'm talking about anything in a relationship that you do not want to do, that you are not ready for. If they want you to do something and they're giving you the this or I'm gone treatment, let them walk. Let them walk. I don't know who needed to hear that, but let them walk, okay? Like, we are not doing that this year. This year, you are putting your big girl panties on and you're letting them step, okay? Like, remember, you definitely you have a say. Like, you have a say. You are responsible for your body. You are responsible for your entire life. You cannot, sacrifice yourself, your values, your morals for just sake of keeping the person happy. Like, if it's something you don't want to do, don't do it. It's that simple. It really is just that simple. Like, if someone is making you feel like you have to do something you don't want to do, get to step in, get to step in. Like, no, that person is just not a good person in general. Never, ever, 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 ever stay with someone who makes you do something that you don't want to do, and like is just making you feel bad and just, making you feel like you have to keep them. Why would you want to keep them? Like, no, no. You peace. Choose always, always, always choose your peace and your peace of mind, a peaceful life over anything that goes against that. Okay? That's just my opinion. Everything I say is just from my own, little bit of, wisdom and things I've picked up this along the way so far. Like, just, be a smart, be wise, be intentional about the decisions that you make, especially when it comes to relationships. Because if you're in a committed relationship, if you are someone who plans to be with someone for a very long time, like, it's every single thing that every decision, every choice that you make and that you make in that relationship that has to do with that other person is going to affect you both for the rest of your life if that's someone that you plan to be with. So choose wisely. Definitely. Please, please, please choose wisely. But when it comes to just like dating in general, make sure that you have fun. I feel like there's such a negative um, connotation or negative, there's so much negativity around dating right now. And, you know, it's just a lot of women have the whole all men are trash, there's nothing good out here, and all men have the whole there are no good women left, and women don't want to do anything anymore, and no one, wants to be a good wife, and y'all aren't wifey material. Like, there's just so many different conversations going on about dating right now online, especially even in real life. I have a lot of friends, um, and even like coworkers and family and stuff who are just so negative, when it comes to dating and their views on men and their views on women, from both sides or however you identify. All are welcome here. I love you. But it's so important to have the right mindset if you are someone who's dating right now, and like you're in the the pool, the 2025 swimming pool, um, of dating. It's so important to make sure that you approach every date, every encounter, every possible connection with an open mind and with positivity. Like, don't just, walk into every situation or approach every single man or woman, um, with the idea like this isn't going anywhere, they're trash. Like, your mindset and who you are being also is who you're gonna attract. And so if you're someone who is negative, if you are someone who is not 100%, solid and secure within yourself, you're going to attract people who are also not solid and secure in themselves and who are also negative. So do your best to make sure that you are being super mindful about the conversations that you are having with yourself and with other people about dating, and that you are more positive than negative when you are talking about dating and, thinking about dating. When you're thinking about men, um, or women, just make sure that you are being, not just not negative. Like, make sure that you're having an open mind, make sure that you are being positive, make sure you are telling yourself every single day, like, if you are someone who, is trying to be with or trying to find the love of your life right now, make sure you are constantly like visualizing being in that relationship, constantly visualizing that person, constantly telling yourself every single day and affirming to yourself and praying, as if you already have that person, being so grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, source, power, whoever you believe in. Thank you so much for this amazing, incredible, beautiful, long lasting, forever love. Thank you for this relationship. Thank you for my partner. Thank you, just affirm and pray as if you already have it every single day. If that's something that you are trying, to attract into your life, you have to be it first. I'm a huge believer in every single thing that happens externally as a result of what's going on in here. And so you really have to just make sure that you're being, like I just said, as positive as possible. And I know that positive thinking and affirmations and all that stuff can sound cheesy, but it really does work, because again, like, life is just energy. Every single thing, every single area of your entire life really is just energy. It makes up life. Energy is what makes up life, and what you attract into your life is always going to be a reflection of the inside of you. And so it's really important to just make sure that, you, like I said, are just already speaking, already thinking, already just so excited and just grateful. Gratitude is so important when it comes to attracting anything into your life, making sure that you are being so grateful, one, for the life that you already have, so that you can be blessed with a lot more, but also, being grateful for, what you don't have yet, but is coming, that that you do have. You're just waiting for it to show up in your reality. And, it really will make a difference in how you approach not just dating, but every situation in life and everything that you want out of life, when you have the mindset of already having it. Make sure you never, ever, ever have desperate energy. Um, One of my like favorite things to like tell people or tell women or whoever you're dating is always remember that strong men can, you know, be solid and secure with strong women. I think a lot of the negativity that, we're faced with today around the conversation of dating and men and all that stuff is because women do or are currently financially making a lot more than they have in generations past. And with that has come a lot of um, gender role conversations that I think a lot of people don't know how to handle, you know? And it's different for different people. A lot of people can handle it, quote in quotation marks, or a lot of men, I should say. Um, but strong men and men who are really solid in who they are and who are secure in who they are will be able to be solid and secure with strong women, and not just financially, but if you're a woman who knows, like, you have to, who is not afraid to speak up for what she wants, who is not afraid to, um, like I was saying before, like, say bye if he, starts to pressure you or make you feel like you have to do stuff, or he's leaving, let him go. And a lot of times they'll come back. Like, a lot of times strong men will always, always, always know and respect a woman's values, boundaries. You know, they won't be, what's it called? Strong men will never be, I guess the word, like, insecure, but they'll never, you know, be intimidated. That's the word. Strong men will never be intimidated by strong women, ever, ever. And so you have to remember that the flip side is also true. Weak men will always take advantage of weak women. And so you have to make sure that you are not being a weak woman, especially when it comes to dating, that you are not being someone who is, you know, neglecting your needs to try to please him. You, of course, you want to, make him happy, and, you know, every woman wants to please their man when they really, really love him, but not at your own expense. You know what I mean? And so weak men will always take advantage of weak women. Strong men will always, will never be intimidated by strong women. And so they'll be able to handle your boundaries, your values, your morals. They'll be able to respect that. Like I said, on the flip side, the same is true for weak men, unfortunately. And so make sure that you are not being a weak woman, because you are going to be taken advantage of when you are not strong in your boundaries, when you don't know who you are, when you don't know what you want, when you're not honest about what you want. If you know, I mean, I'm talking about like the small stuff. If you know, I always use the example of how I like my steak, because I'm someone who eats steak well done. And I know that is blasphemous for the majority of people. Like, most people, like, medium rare is the standard or medium well. But well done is like blasphemous to eat a steak. I like my steak well done. Um, but I always use that example of like when I go out on a date, I used to be scared to order my steak well done because I'm like, one, the chef is going to criticize you. Like when the waiter goes back to the chef and like puts the well done order, like I know I'm being judged by the waiter, by the chef, and by the person who I'm on a date with, right? And so I'm like, I used to just not even order steak at all because I love steak, but I used to just never order it in public because I know I like it well done, but it's like one of my top favorite foods. If you've seen any of my other videos, I'm like a protein junkie and steak is like the love of my life. But I like it well done. Um, and then I like started ordering it well done. And like some men would like joke about it and some men would just like be straight up like ill. And I'm like, either you still like me after this or you don't. But that's like and I'm talking about very minimal things like that. Because if you can't be honest about the food you like with the person you're dating, how the heck do you expect to be able to be honest about the big stuff, about, what you want in bed, about sex, about money, about the kind of home you want to live in, how you want your kids to be raised? Like, if you're scared to be honest about the small stuff like food or I don't know what else is really small. The things that you like to do, or how the hobbies you like, how you like to spend your free time, the shows you like to watch. Like, if you can't be honest in relationships about the small stuff, and I know that's the stuff that might not seem like a big deal, you also like need to make sure that that does not translate into the bigger stuff. Um, and again, never be scared to be honest. Um, for sake of losing someone. If you're someone who can communicate in a very mature, clear, calm way, and I hate to be stereotypical, but a lot of my sisters, we are known for being emotionally charged when we get fired up. Um, we're known to just go off the deep end, and our communication skills go out the window a lot of times. Um, But, when you are able to communicate effectively, when you have something on your mind and you need to say it, you need to say it in a calm, respectful, polite, polite depends on your tone. You don't have to be that polite, depending on what the topic is, but you do need to be calm and respectful. And if you are with someone who does not know how to communicate in a mature, calm, respectful way, who does not know how to get his point across without being aggressive, you need to rethink that person. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Always, always. And so it's just really important to the number one way to make sure that you don't lose yourself in a relationship is to make sure that you are being honest with yourself and with the person that you're dating. If you can't have an honest, open conversation, if the lines of communication are non existent, if y'all don't even talk about the real stuff, if you're just going along with whatever he says for sake of keeping him, that's not a real relationship. Especially if you know you have things that you need to say or that you want to say or things that you're unhappy about and you're just settling because that's all it is. And believing that you can't have anything more or believing that you can't have the life that you deserve with the partner you deserve. And so you're just trying to, stay so focused on keeping the one that you have because you're worried about not being able to find anyone else. That is unhealthy. Like, again, like you really have to know what's best for you. Also, when it comes to dating, make sure that you know what you are willing to compromise on and what you are not. So make sure that you have your little list of your non-negotiables. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a list. I know that everyone has different opinions on like a list when it comes to like physical features on the man you want to have or to be with. I think it's good when you're as specific as possible when it comes to what you want because it's going to help you to know what you don't want. So you really need to, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a list, but make sure that aside from the physical features of your list, that the list also includes your non negotiables. What are you willing to compromise on, and what are you not? Um, what are the things when it comes to a relationship, a partner, a lifelong, long term situation, if that's what you want? What are the things that you that are non-negotiable for you, like without question, without a doubt, are non-negotiable for you? Things, the like a lot of the big things, like where do you want to live or settle down? Kids obviously should be the main thing that comes up when you first start dating. Maybe obviously, like maybe not the first date, but if you know that it's going somewhere and y'all might be together for a long time, the kid conversation, the children conversation needs to come up, especially if you have your own. I mean, if you have your own, it's gonna come out on the first date, you know. But um, just making sure that you know your non-negotiables. You know, what are the things that you are willing to compromise on? You know, and I know that living location can be something that you're willing to that most people are willing to compromise on, where they want to settle down, where they want to start a family. And then there are more important things like finances and children and things like that that are going to require you to be honest, and are going to require you to be like, what are you willing to compromise on and what are you not? And so if you don't know those things yet and you are someone who wants to date, make sure that you are having these conversations with yourself. Make sure that you are making your list. I think there are a lot of people have such a negative view around dating. I think this is just my personal opinion, because they don't know who they are themselves. And so a lot of people are getting into these situationships and dating and relationships and being so like, oh, that person is just so bad or so wrong and they don't know what they want. It's because you don't know what you want either. Again, you are going to attract who you are. Like, so if you don't have your ish together, how you expect to attract someone who does? And it does happen, these are not blanket statements, anything is possible, but it's just so much easier when you are honest with yourself, when you are self-aware enough to be honest about what you want, and when you are not settling for less than that. So if you don't know what your non-negotiables are, figure those out. If you don't know what you're willing to compromise on, figure that out, because it's going to come up at some point. Again, if you're planning on spending many, many, many years with someone, a lot of different things are going to come up. Also, it's really important to make sure that you remember that people change. And so you who you are and who they are on date one gonna be is not always gonna be who they are on date 75. Like, are you okay with being with someone who changes? I heard this quote, um, when you get in a relationship with someone, or especially if it's a marriage, you are signing up to be in a relationship with seven different people, because that person is going to change. The job that they do might change at some point. The money that they make might change at some point. Their health, God forbid, the health of someone might change at some point. Um, their physical appearance might change at some point. Like, you have to be realistic and have to, remember that people change and people's views change. A religion that someone practices may change at some point. Um, humans go through so many different life phases and life changes and stages. And as people get older and go through life, they tend to figure out more about themselves, which obviously is going to create some life changes. Again, even like the way that they eat might change. Are you okay with change? Are you someone who is flexible? Like, you really do have to be, thinking about these things when you're thinking about committing to someone long term. On the same subject of, long term relationships, also, you know, think about the big picture of your life. In almost every single video, I tell everyone to do the exercise of thinking about yourself in your 60s, 70s, 80s, looking back on your life in your 20s, 30s, 40s, figuring out, what you want to have done. Like, what do you want the story of your life right now to be when you're reflecting on, these years, no matter how old you are, but when you're reflecting on, the like pivotal years for most people are your 20s, 30s, 40s. That's like the years where you are working and starting families and, doing all those things. And you can do all that stuff 50 plus as well. It's never, age ain't nothing but a number, okay? But I think that it's so important to think about yourself being much older than you are now. And I feel like 60s is still young, so maybe like 70s, 80s. Looking back on your life, what do you want to say that you've done? And live your life according to that. I think it's so important to think about the big picture of your life, like I was talking about in the beginning of the video. When it comes to intimacy, don't make short-term decisions that come with long-term consequences. That goes for everything in life, not just when it comes to sex and all the long-term consequences that we know can result from that. But when it comes to all of the decisions of your life, what do you want to be able to look back on your life and say that you've done? What are the memories that you want to have made? Who are the people that you want to have, had in your life? What are the things that you want to have done? What are the jobs you want to have done, or the hobbies, or the things you want to have built for yourself and for your life, and the family you want to have, and just the quality of your life that you want to look back on your life and be able um to say that you've done in the life that you've lived. It's so helpful to look, like, to really think about yourself um being older and looking back on your life now. And you know even if you do a cute little exercise and, like, write a letter to your future self, that's always a lot of fun. Or write a letter from your future self to yourself now. It's so, like, fun to do. And you're like, girl, if you only knew how good it's gonna get from here. Like, you might feel like a trash can in your 20s, but trust me, you have no idea what's coming. Like, I like to think about myself older and talking to myself now as that person. Especially if you don't have a older, wiser figure in your life. I don't have grandparents. I don't have parents either. If you've never seen any of my other videos, I lost my mom last year. My dad's never been in my life, and I don't have grandparents on either side. Um, and I don't have siblings either. So it's just me. But I was raised by an older mom. My mom didn't have me until she was 40, which is normal now, but back then it was like blasphemous to have a kid when you're 40, back in the 90s. Um, but said all that to say, like, if you don't have someone in your, like, immediate circle who you see every day or talk to every day who is much older and wiser, think about your own self being older and wiser. What do you want to be able to tell yourself now? We all know there's nothing more comforting than, like, that, like, real traditional type of grandma. Like, it's everyone calls me a grandma because I really am 80-year-old and a 20-year-old body over here. 26. But it's really I think it's really helpful, and it really opens your eyes up to think about yourself when you're older. We all age, again, also has a stigma and comes with all these different conversations, and it's all downhill from here type of mentality. But life should be getting better as you get older, not worse, because you figure out more about yourself, you learn a lot more, you're going to be more secure in who you are as you get older. That's the goal. So it's really helpful to, again, it'll help just make decisions throughout your entire life when you're thinking about the big picture of your life. What is the legacy you want to leave behind? And who is the person that you want to be remembered as? All of that is really going to help you. And I think that that's so important when it comes to talking about dating, and finding your partner, because, again, if you want a long-term partner, they're going to be a part of your story. And so you really want to make sure that it's someone who you want to have been a part of your story, and just act accordingly. I think it's so important to act accordingly. Happy Valentine's Day if you are in a relationship and you do, like, want to have some fun, intimate moments. I'm going to try to leave a podcast that I found. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's the podcast called Women Over 70. And they have a whole episode on, like, Valentine's Day and everything that comes with being in a relationship on Valentine's Day. One of the things that they said is very helpful if you are in a relationship and you're someone who gets nervous about sex in particular on Valentine's Day, one of the things that they said that's really helpful is to do it in the morning instead of at night, because it's like this huge buildup for most couples, like all day, and then there's all this pressure, all this unnecessary pressure put on sex on Valentine's Day, um, and just get it out the way in the morning. And so, like, that way, the rest of the day, one, you're gonna feel amazing the rest of the day, um, and you're gonna be able to like be have fun and be relaxed for the whole day, and you're not gonna like be super nervous or have feel like you have all this pressure the entire day, especially because Valentine's Day is on a Friday this year, so you got the whole weekend. Um, but like you're gonna be able to be like more relaxed and just be more chill the whole day if you already got it out the way in the morning. Not that you can't do it again, but I'm saying like if you really just if it annoys you every single year, because I know for a lot of people it does. A lot of people get like super in their head about the build up for that night, for Valentine's Day night. If you can, if it's possible for y'all schedules, whatever, just do it in the morning. Um, just get it out the way. But for a nice little romantic setup, get and wear whatever makes you feel good, not just for Valentine's Day, but just for any intimacy situation, appointment in general. Um, if you look good, you feel good. So wear whatever makes you feel your most confident, whatever makes you feel the sexiest, whatever makes you feel feminine and flirty, if that's your vibe. Whatever your vibe is, whatever makes you feel the hottest, whatever makes you feel just, the most sensual and confident. And buy some lingerie, buy some new stuff, like buy a new robe, like buy the things that's gonna make you feel the best. Heels are like nothing makes me feel more feminine and more like that girl than a pair of solid stilettos. And I'm talking like the high ones. Um, Nothing does it for me like a pair of heels. Um, when you look good, you feel good. And so if you want to make sure that you are as confident and as sexy and as like, you know, that you come off as more the most attractive to your man, wear whatever is going to make you feel the best because he's going to pick up on that energy. And so when you look good, you feel good. Wear whatever is going to make you feel the best. Candles, set the vibe. Always have on um, the best music. Music is always fun. Just like have fun, like I said, when it comes to intimacy and dating and relationships, there's so much negativity and seriousness, and it's a very serious thing. But we also got to remember dating is supposed to be fun. Being in a relationship, especially if you're in a marriage, is supposed to be fun. Being with your lifelong partner is supposed to be fun. Like y'all are building a life together. And so remember to loosen up, remember to literally let your hair down, remember to just be relaxed and take the pressure off and to just genuinely do, whatever is going to make you feel the best, whatever is going to, you know, put you in the most fun, flirty mood, you know, watch whatever your favorite shows are. Like, do anything that's just going to make you feel fun and put you in a good mood and make you feel confident. When you look good, you feel good. That is number one. Candles create a romantic atmosphere instantly. Good music creates a romantic atmosphere instantly. Um, Good food. I recommend. This is weird. I know, like dating and going on a date, like out to eat and then sex is what most people do. Sex should be before the food, in my opinion. Not obviously, depending on your schedule, it's not gonna be like that all the time. But because like when you're having fun, you want to be like light and you know not have too much on your stomach and things like that. At least this is just in my opinion. Um, and then like afterwards you might want to sleep. But like afterwards, you might be like you should have worked up an appetite, Like it's fun to like eat after, in my opinion. Um, but do what works for you. But if you haven't done the reverse where you like do it and then eat, do that. Like when you can, do that. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys got something from this video. If you have any um Valentine's Day tips to have like the most fun romantic Valentine's Day with your boo. If you have any dating tips or hacks, advice, leave them in the comments down below. If you have been in a long-term relationship for many, 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 many years, please let us all know your secrets. What have you done? Like, what things, have you done that have really, made your relationship last and, have kept you two together? And like I said, just in my own very minimal experience, communication and honesty has been key. To maintaining a really good, healthy relationship. And so, in all of my dating endeavors, clear communication and honesty have been really, really like the number one key. And so, if you have anything that will help all of us, please leave them down below. Whether you're single in a relationship, just dating for fun, doing your thing, whatever makes you feel good, no matter what phase of the relationship spectrum you are currently on. I hope that you have an amazing Valentine's Day. Thank you for hanging out with me for our little Galentine's Day chat. And like I said, this is only one video in a series that I'm doing for Galentine's Day, for our Galentine wine time. Yeah, if you have not checked out any of those videos, go check out the other ones. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know your favorite comment down below or your favorite part down below. And I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.